What I was gonna say before we get off this Black Star topic is I love some of the stuff that Yassine Bey had to say about Kanye West's graduation and the fact that he believes that Kanye sold 1 million in a week. I know he said a day in there, but I think he meant a week because technically, it made me think. It's funny. I was having this conversation the other day. Jay-Z always made a deal about selling 1 million in a week, 1 million in a week. He never did it. Now the people who have done it, Eminem's done it. 50 did it with the Massacre. Wayne did it with the Carter 3. And technically, I believe Kanye did it with Graduation. Now they have him listed at 957,000 units that first week, but usually they round up, and that's 1 million in a week. I don't know if because Jay was president at Def Jam, that might have been a bad look if Lil Bro got 1 million in a week and he never did it. I don't know. Whatever. Those conspiracy theories
It's
there.
the way Yassine said it that made you feel like it got circumvented.
I felt
Because
like
yes,
that before he said it. I was having this conversation literally last week, and when he said it, it was kind of confirmation from me. He was like, "It's an industry bullshit." But the other part of it, though, Coop, we also have to factor in.
because you know how powerful that is for how empowering that is for Ye to say, I'm selling 1 million records in a week like I'm Eminem.
Listen, here's the other part, though. Here's
Right.
the kicker.
While Eminem is moving units
But
still.
Coop, this is the thing. He did this coming out the same day as a guy who has sold 1 million in a week. Who does that? Because all these other people that sold 1 million in a week, they had nobody in their way.
No competition.
Nobody in their way.
Including him. He
So,
had 50 in his
exactly.
prime standing in front of him, and he did 1 million. Yes.
Exactly.
It's one
And
of the
so,
biggest moments in rap history.
so they put Kanye in a situation where the consumer had to make a choice. And you know who set that date. Now, I remember Jay-Z announcing that Kanye's date had been moved because I believe, because it was like on MTV.com days, I believe they announced that Kanye's album had been pushed to 50's date. So if Kanye comes out a week apart, 2 weeks apart, he's doing that 1 million the first week easy. Yassine Bey also alluded to the fact that he feels like even though 50 had the bigger resume previously, he feels like Kanye was kind of the driving force and even selling him some records in that week.
No, so here's some of the talking points. Yassine did call it. He's like, Kanye changed the whole macho notion.
He did.
That's what he called it.
We've said
He
that
said he
here on this
changed
show
the
as well.
paradigm of things and the whole macho notion of the. Because here's the thing, it's almost like, well, the high school quarterback gets the prettiest girl in school. It's like, well, the macho tough gangster guy gets to be called the best rapper and sell all the records and get all the notoriety and get all the girls and get to rock the chains and get to rock the Balenciaga and the Versace and all that. It's like that guy gets that. Biggie gets that. Pac gets that. Nas gets that. Jay gets that. Rakim gets that. G-Rap. Like this guy, that he's not out of that mold.
Yep.
So 50's out of that mold.
Mm-hmm.
Southside till I die. That's just how I ride. Right.
And to have Kanye go up against that mode and still do the numbers he did is
so what he
incredible.
did is that Kanye actually went against the hip hop archetype of what an MC at the peak is supposed to look like, and he's like, it don't look like Ice Cube anymore. It don't look like 50 anymore. It don't look like Pac anymore. It don't look like Rakim in the Gucci suit with the big medallion. It's like it don't look like that no more. It looked like me in a pink polo with a Jesus piece.
He changed that, and it's been changed ever since.
It's been different ever since. He is the paradigm shifter. And you want to know what I was thinking, Mike? It's like when Yassine was saying all this, I was like, we got to change his rating as a producer and as an MC and as an artist. Because he's all three. It's like, no, his producer rating needs to go up, maybe to number one. His MC rating maybe needs to go into top 10, 15, including above Kendrick. Because Kendrick hasn't shifted this paradigm like Ye. No, he is not.
No.
Ye is not a paradigm shifter. If JID is what you have to show for your paradigm shifting, it's like I'm going to show you Kanye and show you the rest of the industry.
I mean, we're going to show you Kendrick Lamar when we show you Kanye.
Facts, big facts.
Those Kanye made it.
Those are bars, son. To quote New Yorkers, those are bars, son.
Kanye made it proper in the mainstream for artists to be themselves. Like when you used to be yourself as an artist, before Kanye, you a little brother or something. You know what I'm saying? You were a
No,
backpacker.
hold on. You would be lucky to go gold. Let's
Yeah.
call it what it is. You'd be lucky to go gold. He's
Yeah.
selling 1 million records in a week. You'd be lucky to go gold with that persona 5 years before he showed up.
Not
As
only
Common. As
Coop,
Common.
exactly. Not only 1 million in a week, Coop. He did 1 million in a week, coming out the same day as another guy
It's
who did
50.
1 million in a week. That's
50.
crazy.
No, not
Who
some
just
guy.
did 1 million in a week.
No, not some guy. The only other guy other than Eminem that's doing 50 in a week.
You're right.
And he's tied to Eminem, which is part of why he did the milli. Kanye did this milli straight up.
Straight up.
Bars.
Imagine what he would have done if he didn't come out the same day as 50 Cent. He would have did like 1.3. Yeah.
Did Michael Jackson numbers. Did some Thriller Purple Rain shit.
That's
why.
know what?
And that's when.
I'm
that's
gonna
why
say
when
this.
Yasin called it his Thriller moment. That's when I understood what he's talking about. It's like, hold on, in hip hop terms, and you're right. If you take 50 out of the equation, it's like, man, this nigga probably would have moved like 1.5 million units in a week.
Yeah.
That's Thriller shit.
Exactly. You know what?
Thriller shit.
That was very interesting of you, Jay, to move Kanye's date to the date that 50 was coming out. That was a very interesting move.
Very interesting how you did that.
That was a very interesting move.
Thought he set him up for failure.
Thought he did.
And he did.
But see, Jay was going to win either way. Because if Kanye wins, 50 goes down. If 50 wins, Kanye goes down.
No.
Big Brother could step in.
Let me tell you why he didn't win. Because we're standing here today, and the dude that you founded your record label with is saying that Kanye's a better artist. You didn't win shit. You lost that day.
He is.
And that's actually where you lost, because that's where the paradigm shifted. Because here's the thing about it. You and I love College Dropout and Late Registration because it's just fucking classic. Everybody loves Graduation.
But the moment that, you're right. Graduation is the moment that Kanye West became the mega star.
That's when he became. That's when he got. Yeah. That's when we couldn't touch him anymore after that.
I think Jay heard the album. He heard the album. He knew it was coming, and the best way to possibly, I don't want to say suppress it, but to level it out was for it to come out the same day 50 came out.
You heard it on the first single, Mike.
Yeah. Can't tell me nothing.
La, 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 la. Wait till I get my money right.
And if he did 1 million in a week, Big Bro couldn't tell him nothing ever.
Mike, what's about the literary devices? The Adam Eve Devil Wears Prada, but I'm way more fresher bars. I was like, yeah. Because you know what he is? He's rhyming like Jay on that record. You know that, right? That's Jay's bars. That's Jay's flow on Can't Tell Me Nothing.
Prada, I'm way between it. Okay, I can see that.
That's Jay. That's what I'm saying. It's like, oh, he's taking Hove's flow too.
And like I've always told people, if you really listen to Big Brother, it's not a record paying homage.
It's not.
It's a diss record. It might not be an outright diss record, but he's like, damn, man.
Listen to how he's talking on Touch the Sky with Lupe on Late Registration. Now Jay like, damn dog, you where I am. A hip-hop legend. I'm like, oh, Jay told you that after one album? Oh,
Jay
you clicking on his heels.
No, he said Jay's favorite line, dog in due time.
No, like, damn dog, you are where I am. No, then he said, Jay came back, now damn dog, you are where I am. A hip-hop legend. I think I died in that accident because this must be heaven.
That's why with the super chat says, y'all should do a poll asking if Black Star is a classic and let the people speak. I respect your opinion, Coop, but conventional hip-hop wisdom disagrees with you. Okay, we'll put the poll up.
How about we pull up on Monday and I'm going to have Murder Music obliterate that Black Star thought, because a lot of people struggle with Hell on Earth being a classic and tell me that that's a struggle sometimes to be a Mobb Deep classic. And Hell on Earth is definitely better than Murder Music. If you feel like that Black Star is a classic, this is what I mean. It's not a top 100 rap album.
Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Coop, do you listen to all music and keep score on it or just hip hop? I love the passion with music. I'm sorry. He said, I love the passion. What you listen to. Relax.
I listen to everything.
No, what do you listen to relax? That's what he meant to say.
Oh, well, I do a whole nother podcast called Mirror Music, which is also on YouTube with my dear friend from high school. And we juxtapose pop culture songs with hip hop songs. So you'll find us putting Let It Be by the Beatles with Dear Mama by Tupac. as far as what I like to soothe the senses and calm the soul, big jazz fan. Charlie Parker, the Verve years comes to mind. Thelonious Monk. You know, even with my jazz, I like the articulate and the intricate and the special guys. So Charlie and Thelonious, you know, Miles, of course. Fats Domino. I'm a Fats Domino fan. I know that's more blues. I'm trying to think about the soothing stuff. I love like old Billie Holiday stuff. My soothing music is probably Erykah Badu. Her early stuff, like Mama's Gun, is one of the most special R&B albums ever to me. I think Mama's Gun came out in 2000. I still think Mama's Gun is the best R&B album that came out in the 2000s.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I don't think there's been an R&B album that's been made that's been better than Mama's Gun since Mama's Gun got made. And so that stretch of that album is my real relaxing place. Orange Moon, In Love With You with Rohan Marley, AD 2000, Green Eyes at the end, Didn't You Know, of course, which I believe Dilla did the beat to.
Yeah.
I believe Dilla. Well, you can tell by the drums, Mike, because the drums sound better than everybody else's drums.
Right. Dominicano with the super chat says. Dominicano with the super chat says, "I'd rather listen to Quiet Storm than any Black Star song."
Every day.
Yeah. Which one? The remix or the regular one?
It's hip hop. That's what I'm saying. It's like, don't do that.
Willard Winston with the super chat says, if Jay-Z and 50 decided to challenge each other for promotion like 50 and Ye, Jay would have sold 1 million the first week. No, I don't believe Jay would have outsold 50. I don't. Now that I don't believe. And you know, it's interesting to think, did Jay ever come out the same day as anybody else?
Yes, Aquemini.
Okay.
And
Volume 2 in Aquemini?
September 29th, 1998.
But
Matter of fact, they all came out the same day. Volume 2, Black Star, The Love Movement, Aquemini. Best release date ever. All 4 albums released the same day.
Those are groups. I mean, like one-on-one. He's not coming out the same day as a DMX or something.
Oh, no. There'll be no As Dark As Hell Is Hot or Magic or like none of that are in between.
Hassan Sykes with the super chat says, it's easy with Ye when you have great features when 50 don't. He didn't have no features on Graduation. Let's not rewrite history.
Lil Wayne on Barry Bonds.
Nas.
Lil Wayne on Barry Bonds.
Well, he did. He had that and he had most. But he said he had Nas and Jay at the time of their beef. That brought more eyes to his album. Now, that was Late Registration. Graduation just had Wayne on Barry Bonds. And this is Wayne before the Carter 3. This is Wayne before the Carter 3.
There's no way that you heard Diamonds of Sierra Leone and Gold Digger. As a head, you wanted to hear the Jay and Nas stuff that was going to be on the album, but he had you. That's
I think that the College Dropout was the only one that was about the features. The rest of them was about him. Once we
College Dropout is about the features.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. That's not even fair because it's like, Mike, the 3 best records on there, to me, are still All Falls Down, Jesus Walks, and Spaceship.
No,
those are
I agree
with
you. Once you
those
get into
Kanye records. That's Ye. That's why I love him. That was the buy-in. That's why the album starts off that way.
I agree. I'm saying the draw were the features, but when you get into the album, you're like, this guy's nice. Yeah.
I still play All Falls Down, Mike.
All Falls Down tells you everything you need to know about Kanye West, past, present, and future.
It's the Kanye West tutorial.
Yeah.
Get in the car and ride.
Yeah. Inspector with the super chat says Murder Music is the most bootlegged album of all time.
Told you about Feel My Gap Blow, Mike. Feel My Gap Blow. That was track 3. USA, Alright Then, on the bootleg is the first track, and Streets Raised Me is at the end. That was one thing that they fixed that needed to be fixed. Because Alright Then is not a good start for Murder Music. That's actually one of the weaker songs on there. So when they moved Streets Raised Me to the front, and they cleaned up the engineering on Streets Raised Me. I remember all this like it was yesterday.
And Drell Green with the super chat says, G-Unit album, the Black album, dropped the same day, if I recall. G-Unit sold more, if memory serves me correct. But the Black album was an instant classic. That's very interesting. 50 didn't even have to go at Jay solo. He beat him with the G-Unit album. So that answers your question for somebody who said something about Jay dropping the same day as 50.
Somebody just reminded me that D'Angelo's Voodoo dropped in 2000. I'm aware. Mm-hmm. So there's like 3 songs like that sound like they belong on Mama's Gun. Mama's Gun sounds like that. There's like 3 songs on Voodoo that are as good as what's on Mama's Gun. 3.
Jay Short with the super chat says, I feel like Diddy started the popularity of the non-MC rapper. He sold 10 mil and people knew he couldn't rap. Not saying that he didn't have a lot of help. That's very interesting. I've said that before too. I think that Diddy did open the lane for guys who couldn't rap to actually rap and be superstars at it.
Well, actually, I believe Yassine said this during the show. He's like, well, Puff with No Way Out worked.
Mm-hmm.
So understand when he's saying that it worked, he's saying that had never worked like that before.
No.
So listen, Yassine from Brooklyn, he's ahead. This is what I'm saying. It's what they don't say. It's like when he's saying Puff with No Way Out worked, he's telling you everything like that before wasn't about to work. Puff changed some of the paradigm, and that's some of the early opening for Kanye to get in. Is the 97 No Way Out album.
You're right.
With the cumulative and compiled thought from the producer being the front man, but the songs being there and it working, because you got Been Around the World, All About the Benjamins, but you got your street shit like Young G's, and you got your in the middle like Club Banger, the street shit like Victory. No, it worked. And so No Way Out is actually Kanye's way in.
Mad Max with the super chat says, honestly, Ye shifted the culture so much that Drake and K-Dot and Cole couldn't be who they were. I think Ye and the RZA, is the reason why people in my generation, fawn over this guy. 3 stacks, so much Ye made you appreciate 3K. I feel like Wayne's the one that made people appreciate 3,000 after the fact. I will give Wayne that credit.
I agree with you.
Wayne bigging up 3,000 at certain points where he didn't even have to. Even that line
the Maybach Music joint.
Well, I was going to say his line on the Millie.
3 stacks, right.
I was going to say his line on the Millie is what kind of really helped that too.
But that's the thing. He said the same thing on Ross's album, on the Deeper Than Rap album, on the Maybach joint with Kanye. You hear the 2-pack, Andre 3 stacks, and then I'm right back with it spitting Maybach music. So that thing that he spit on a Millie, that's an old bar.
Yeah,
Mike,
he kept putting Andre's name in the lexicon with Tupac, Big.
Well, I'm going to tell you why. That was kind of self-serving, too, is because he realized he wasn't getting into that lexicon without putting his predecessor in the lexicon.
Yeah.
Because lyrically, his predecessor in terms of who's recognized in this region would be who?
3,000. We all knew that.
Because Wayne's the most recognizable lyricist post like Drip, right? So that's homage too. But also too, that made me actually think about something because Wayne had used that bar before, Mike. This is just head talk right quick, and we're gonna jump right back to it, Mike. You've always said Ghost's verse on The Game on Pete Rock's album is the best verse. You're wrong. I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong. You want to know why you're wrong?
Why is that?
Because he used some of those bars on Supreme Clientele. He literally held those bars for 2.5 more years and spit some of them out on one. The second verse to one, the Travolta line.
Castor Troy waiting for Travolta. He just said
that's on one.
Yeah. And he said, look behind the drapes. It was just that one phrase.
It doesn't matter.
Oh my God, come on.
You can't recycle and have the best verse. He held that bar. Because here's what he thought. He's like, niggas outside of New York didn't hear that Game joint that I did on Pete Rock's album. I'm going to flip it on one. Mike, you and I were talking about how we grew up in the South and how we got teased growing up the whole time for following all that East Coast shit. Look at it paying off. But that's why I always told you, Prodigy has the best verse. That's not a recycled verse. Ghost verse is recycled. He used those bars on one. I don't care. It's actually 2 bars. He chopped the bars up. There's a bar before, the bar in between the Travolta line that he used on one, too. So he used 2 bars from that, and he took them and put them on one. That lets me know that he remembered the verse, and he didn't feel like the verse got proper shine. Prodigy didn't do that. Nod to P.
I definitely want to play that song on the Patreon as well.
We're playing it on Monday. Play the game on Monday. Yeah. Prodigy got the best verse. I told you Prodigy had the best verse. You know, I went digging, right? I was like, I gotta hear my True Master like once a month. You know what I'm saying?
True Master,
I gotta hear True Master.
True Master might be the most underrated beat of all time.
It might be the most underrated rap song of all time, Mike. It's
crazy.
got Deck and Corrupt going fucking bananas on there.
Shout out to Pete Rock, man.
It's not like B- Corrupt.
No.
Or Deck. It's like A+ Corrupt.
I think Corrupt had the best verse.
You want to know what? I've always said Deck, and I've always said maybe it's a tie, Mike. Corrupt's bar style on there is his flow on there is so sick, Mike. His
Yeah.
flow's so slick.
Yeah.
And it's a West Coast guy writing an East Coast beat like this, so it hitting your ears different.
Yeah.
You know, like how he's hearing the beat, like he's hearing some of the snares and the hi-hats different from how he's parsing out his flow. And so if you're a traditionalist, you know what I'm saying? How he's dropping on the beat, it's like, oh shit, he's dropping on the snare in between him dropping on the drums.
Shit is crazy.
Crazy.
Hassan
But you
Sykes
gotta
with the
do your
super
music
chat.
shit.
Hassan Sykes with the super chat says, my bad, I got mixed up with graduation and late registration. Please disregard. That was all good. It happens. Eric Terrell with the super chat says, Kanye produced Watch the Throne and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy in the same year. What other hip-hop producer have done that? The L Web 100 says, look at what 50 did for his artists under him. Nobody really benefited under Jay like that. Well, Jay wouldn't say that. He said on the God Did verse, he'll tell you otherwise. He'll say LeBron James came from his camp.
Okay. Corrupt is originally from Philly. Mm-hmm. We know that. Where he go to high school? Where he meet Snoop at?
Yeah. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
When did he move over to LA?
See, that's what I'm saying. It's like I know he met Snoop in high school because they got into the freestyle battle that made Snoop remember him, and that's how all the dog pound shit started.
But right. Even if you want to talk about adjusting, I mean, we don't know who he worked with in Philly. We don't know if he was in a group with anybody in Philly. But when he went out to the West Coast, that's when he started making music, and he had to adjust to that. So if he's going back to Pete Rock or whatever, he's adjusting again. That speaks to his versatility. What I mean.
Like, when it comes to claiming this rap shit, you kind of claim it where you birthed it at. It's like, so I've told you this. I've spent more of my life in Atlanta than I have in Charlotte, okay? But when it comes to this rap shit, I claim Charlotte because that's when the rap shit started. The shit started for me and my cousin on West Boulevard at our grandfather's house. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
The rap shit for me started in Charlotte and in Greensboro. So I've never claimed Atlanta on some rap shit. Mike, my first album that's on iTunes, it starts off by First in Flight because that's what the North Carolina name tags say. It ends with 704 because that's the fucking area code for the Charlotte, the original area code for Charlotte. You get what I'm saying? So It's like I claim Charlotte. I spent more time on the east side of Atlanta than the west side of Charlotte. I claim the west side of Charlotte. The rap shit started on the west side of Charlotte. My family from the west side of Charlotte. My family from West Boulevard. I came up on Beatty's Ford in Southwest. Like, that's west side. That's Charlotte. That's where the rap shit started.
Well,
that's
saying Corrupt is from Philly is like saying that, you know, Premier is from Houston. You know what I mean?
Right. Primo from Houston. Luda's from Illinois, Mike. And not even from Chicago, I don't think.
No, it's like a city like, what,
like
an hour and a half
like
outside of? Yeah, hour and a half or something.
Like a city like an hour or so away. That's what I'm saying. The Brat's from Chicago.
Yeah.
Most of her shit's ATL.
Born King with the super chat says, meth on extortion. Oh, my God. Hell on earth. Yeah. Meth feature game.
Allberg, yeah, I know Salisbury, North Carolina. My grandfather went to the Veterans Hospital in Salisbury, North Carolina. That's where he passed away at.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Andrew Green.
My grandfather passed at the Veterans Hospital in Salisbury.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, always. That's the guy that made me who I am.
Wow.
That's the guy. Yeah.
Andrew Green with the super chat says, all the homage songs are low-key disses to people that they look up to and have them in their feelings. Big Brother, Let Nas Down, Slaughterhouse by Button, etc. It's true. Michael Williams with the super chat says, you guys need to do a track for the Black Album versus Get Rich or Die Trying. The Black Album is better. I would die on that hill. Better as
I see we got a whole bunch. Hold on. Mike, I'm just sorry. I see we got a whole bunch of Carolina people up in here. I hear Goldsboro. I went to college with people from Goldsboro when I was up in Greensboro. Jonna talking about you from the South Side, LOL. No, I'm from the West Side. We just moved to the South Side my junior going into my senior year of high school. I'm Beatty's Ford, Southwest Boulevard, LaSalle. My great-grandparents bought land on West Boulevard in the 50s. We are as West Side as it fucking get. My cousin went to grade school with Anthony Hamilton up in Clinton Park. I know the nigga that made Sunshine Anderson's first demo tape over in Little Rock on West Boulevard. West Side.
Not Mike City?
No. West Side. His name's Mike.
Okay, Mike City, yeah.
Say less.
Hassan Sykes with the super chat says, y'all stop it. Ye makes compilation albums. No, not Graduation. Graduation just had Wayne pre-Carter 3.
Yeah,
And Mos
pre-Carter
Def
3.
was singing on there. That's it.
Had Carter 2 Wayne. And
Yeah.
had Dwelle on Flashing Lights, which is still my favorite
Well,
joint.
yeah, I mean, as far as like rap
Oh, you mean the
features,
bars.
though.
You mean
Yeah.
the bars. Yeah, the bars is like
That's
Jeezy
all
doing
him.
ad-libs and Wayne on Barry Bonds. That's the
That's
rap
all him.
shit.
Willard
Yeah.
Winston, and it's so fitting that that's the album that broke him, and I think that's great. Willard Winston with the super chat says Jay-Z sold 700,000 the first week with American Gangster. A beef with 50 would turn that into $1 million. American Gangster sold that much the first week?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I'm gonna have to do some little recon on that. Is that true?
Hold on, how much did they say?
700,000 the first week. American
I think
Gangster?
that's a little inflated. I feel like
Because that didn't even have like a big lead single or anything. Like Blue Magic was the single for that album coming out the gate, and that didn't do that great. And I love Blue Magic. But Hassan Sykes with the super chat says, Ye has more help in terms of features than anybody. Not DJ Khaled. Darren Harris with the super chat says, Then is much better. Then is much better when it was Street Kings featuring Nas. But Columbia Records would not clear 2 Nas features. I hate when that happens. I hate that. They went with the Scarface sample instead. You want to go to this versus thing, and then we can, I guess, kind of transition up out of here. Mad Max says,
I want to make sure we got everything covered.
Let's see.
Did we miss anything?
Did we miss anything? Got the Triller thing. Because you didn't see the Murder Inc. And we'll probably talk about more of that on Friday because they still got episodes coming out. Puffy and Dre in the studio. We could talk about MSNBC talking about this guy did verse, but that verse is not worth doing a whole extra segment on. Hold on, let me get to some of these super chats. Mad Max says, I'm talking about the Sonic wise. I feel like because of Ye's style, and then Kendrick talking the 3000 style, a lot of people who grew up on them go back and hear Andre and feel familiar, similar to with me with Nas and Rakim. And that's true because Kendrick does sound a lot like Andre 3000, and I could hear somebody saying, you know what, let me go back and listen to where Kendrick got his whole style from, which I think is the Slim Cutter Calhoun song, It's Okay.
It's Okay.
Yep.
Hold on, Mike, you want to hear another story? So I'm at amateur night at Strokers, and I keep bumping into these dudes, and I'm toe up, and it's late, and I'm like, who are these guys? Why these guys keep acting like they rich? It was the Dungeon family, Mike. Was chilling next to Slim Cutter Calhoun. The very next day, I used to live in the apartments on Cobb Parkway, right across from the Best Buy. I forget, it was a Friday because amateur night at Strokers used to be Thursday. It's Friday at like noon. I literally like pull my whip out. I mean, like I live so close, Mike. I'm still in my pajamas. I'm still in my house shoes. Still got crust in my eye. This is how much of a music head I've been. I'm picking up a CD. I'm standing in line, and I look up. This nigga Slim Cutter Calhoun is standing next to me. He looks up and he looks at me. He's like, nigga, wasn't you right next to me at Strokers last night? I was like, no, nigga. I said, wasn't you right next to me? I was like, and what are you doing up here? He's like, I got a little thing up here. I spent the night up here last night. And he chopped it up for a minute. So it's like I ran into him at Strokers on Thursday night for amateur night. And then he was up on Cobb Parkway because he had a little thing up on there. And we had a whole combo and chopped it up and dapped out on the way out the door. But that's how Atlanta works.
Yeah. Lex Diesel with the super chat says, not sure what's more blasphemous, Black Star charging their fans monthly for one album or Jay-Z's long-winded, desperate, self-praising verse on God Did. I don't know either. I think as far as on the blasphemy meter, I'm going God Did. As far as the disrespect to the fans meter, Black Star. Mad Max with the super chat says, LOL, also me and Cole and Nas, I think I had to listen to Cole before I really loved Nas because I wasn't big on Nas as a kid. But once I got to college, Nas was it because Cole's style was Nas-like. Interesting.
I never got that. I never got that whole Cole and Nas thing because here's the thing. Nas has always been big in North Carolina, and I think that has to do with it. Just like Lil Kim's always been big in North Carolina.
Hassan Sykes with the super chat says, Ye has more heavy feature albums than strictly solo albums with less features. As a rapper, Ye has more help. But I think that's more about him being a producer, too. Because the producer in him wants to, create for others. Like he said, triple-double, no assists.
Triple-double notices.
Yeah.
Those are bars.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that
Right.
the Sony lawsuit's the only thing left on the list.
I
Which,
think this is the most important thing. Are you ready? Are you
yeah.
ready?
Well,
Are
you
you
know.
working? What kind of work do you do?
Well,
Right. The Gangstar shit. I told you, like the moment of truth, man. The name of the album is so appropriate. The skits, the stuff they're talking about. Wherever you are, baby Paul, realize that your essence is divine, son, and let it shine, son. As we refine, son. Hey, yo, that shit'll blow your mind, son. We're royalty. Like that's what I'm saying. How can you say the DMX's and Jay-Z's bars, even though they might be better or more important when Guru's talking that way?
you're
You
right.
feel me?
I think Moment of
Right.
Truth is
Because
that
is
moment
it
with the
why it takes a
Gangstar.
nation of millions so important is because of the rhetoric that's being espoused in the upliftment of it? The moment of truth has a lot of like it takes a nations to it that people don't realize.
You're right. I
Does
love
the
Royalty,
inspiration is
man.
there.
And sonically, man, that album just sounds like the winter / fall to me. I love it. I
It just
love
sounds
that.
like it sounds like East Coast hip hop.
Yeah,